Today, I'm going to show you exactly how I went from only speaking English to literally speaking all of these.
僕も方言わからないんですけど。
そうなんだ。面白い。例とかあるんすか? Mais tu parles mieux français, non?
Mais vas-y, toi, tu me fais parler.
Frérot, je me disais, mais... Hoy quería grabar un video. Tem muito episódio, né? Demais pra mim. In just over 4 years. So if you want to make accelerated progress like this and learn all these languages, connect with different people, things like that, whatever your goals may be, make sure you stick till the end of this video because I'm going to go through my story on how I did all of this and how I managed to achieve it. So hopefully you can take bits and pieces and apply it into your journey of learning whatever language it may be. I'll be going in chronological order through each of the languages. So if you're learning one of these languages in specific, we're going to be going through Japanese first, then Spanish, then French, then Portuguese. And as a bonus, we'll go through how I know a little bit of Russian, a little bit of Arabic. Then at the end, we'll do some bonus tips as well. So make sure you wait for that. I'm also going to sprinkle in some tips around the video so that you guys can get some benefits from each part of my story in each language. So even if you're not learning the language, you'll get something out of this video. So first, let me give you a little bit of a background on just me as a whole before I even started learning languages. So I'm from the UK, born and raised in the UK. So my dad is from Malawi. My mum is half Irish and English. And after I was born in the UK, I moved back to Malawi for 2 years. Obviously, I was too young to pick up any of the language. And then after that, we ended up moving back to the UK. And that's where I've been raised for the rest of my life up until this point. A lot of you guys are wondering if I had parents who spoke other languages. So obviously my dad speaks Chichewa, the language of Malawi, but I never learned this. And my mom took French A-level and she took like Spanish GCSE, but she never really taught me this. I didn't really gain any benefit from it. And then after that, I did French at primary school, but as most people, like when you're a little kid like that, you do like 1 lesson of French per week with everyone. You don't really learn that much. And then I did a little bit of Spanish in secondary school, like right at the start, but I never really took it seriously, but we're going to get into that in a second. And to give you my general perspective on how I felt towards languages in general, I could not care less. For so long, I'm not even joking, like I would mess around as much as I could in language lessons because I hated it. Like I'm not even joking, I hated it, as no exaggeration. I was failing, I would mess around, I would say, what's the point? Why do they make us do languages in school? I'm never ever going to use a language. So if this is you, this video definitely applies to you, okay? But there was one period of time which really strangely, we're going to get into it, it just completely altered the course of my life completely, and the whole reason why I can even have this channel now. Super interesting, so let's get straight into it. The first language I actually learned was Japanese, self-study, 100% for free, no tutors, no teachers, no support, literally nothing. The reason why I started learning it is because I had a friend who spoke Japanese, and when I heard him speak, I thought it sounded really cool. I was watching lots of anime. As you can see, I got anime posters in the background. I'm still loyal to my first language, you know? Anyways, I just thought it was really cool. I was imagining myself speaking Japanese, like, oh my days, that would be so cool if I can speak Japanese. So what did I do? I hopped straight on Duolingo. #1 app to learn languages, and I'm joking. But it is definitely probably the most popular. And it was a big mistake. A very big mistake. I did for like 3 months. I had the streak, I had everything. I was paying for premium, and it was really just a trap. It traps you into the cycle of not really making progress. And I was really unsatisfied. And I was making so many other mistakes at the same time of learning a language. And everybody does at the start of learning a language, and this really slows you down. And this is exactly why I made a free guide explaining exactly the 3 biggest mistakes that people make when it comes to language learning, so that you guys can completely skip this step and just get straight into making that really nice progress and enjoying it as well. So make sure you grab that in the description, fill out a super quick guide. It comes with a WhatsApp group as well for support, and I'll send that straight over to you. Now, anyways, as I was saying, I started with Duolingo, and yeah, I realized I just wasn't making the progress that I wanted to. And this was actually like my canon event. I needed this to really get to the point where I'm at. If any of you guys watched Steins Gate, this was that moment where Okabe fails going back in time to save his girlfriend, but he actually needed to fail once in order to get back up and do even better. So after this, I did a bunch of research, looking up like different ways to learn Japanese to actually make progress. And I found something like AJAT, or the immersion method. AJAT stands for all Japanese all the time. And essentially what this is you're surrounding yourself with a language as much as you can all the time, if possible. And this worked so well for me. I started doing this. I would listen to anime, which at the time wasn't ideal because this was actually too hard for me. But if you want me to kind of go into that, watch my video on how I learned Japanese, which I'll put up here. And doing loads of other things. I was doing Anki. I was getting loads of different sources of input, which is really important. But yeah, at a certain point, I really hit a plateau. And only recently I've kind of been able to break out of that. But I could understand like quite a decent amount, you know, when you listen to Japanese that much, but I didn't really do enough speaking practice. Like 2 years really, I didn't speak at all. And at this point, I realized something really, really important. Understanding a language and being able to speak it with fluency are two very different things, but very linked skills. I was doing loads of immersion. I was watching videos in Japanese, anime, listening to podcasts, etc. But I realized I just didn't have enough opportunities to actually speak Japanese, which was holding me back. Now that's where italki comes in. For those of you who don't know about italki, it's an online language learning platform which offers one-to-one personalized lessons with native speakers. What I like about italki is it makes it really easy to connect and have conversations with native speakers and tutors all around the world. So instead of just waiting for the rare opportunity to meet with someone who speaks the language or going on apps where you might not even find someone, you can just book a conversation with someone whenever it fits your schedule. And that was huge for me because speaking is where the language really starts to feel real. You can choose tutors based on things like their accent, whether they're a native in the language, etc., their teaching style, what you want to kind of practice, things like that. So whether you're learning French, Spanish, Japanese, or pretty much literally any other language, there are literally thousands of tutors available for you. Literally. And the teachers are so supportive, so it feels like a really safe space. It's so easy and fun to talk to them, and like with that you can start speaking from day one. Even if you're a beginner, you get all the support that you need. For me, it was really helpful to have real life native conversations with speakers because you learn from your mistakes so much quicker. You get instant corrections and things like that. Helps you sound more natural, introduce you to expressions that you might have not known about before, things that you just don't learn from textbooks. And because you only pay per lesson, it's super flexible. You can just schedule one whenever it fits your time schedule and your budget. Here's how my session went. Oh, j'avais juste une question
oui,
à propos du français. Comment genre, est-ce que ça a genre ça vaut la peine au passé?
Ça valait la peine?
Ouais, est-ce que ça valait la peine
de venir au Japon?
De venir au Japon. Moi, je suis en train de me postuler pour un bourse. Je crois que c'est ça, un bourse.
Une bourse?
Une bourse.
Ouais.
Pour aller au Japon. If you're ready to go from understanding a language to actually speaking it, click the link in the description below. Buy $10 and get $5 for free using my exclusive promo code SHIOJ3, which I'll put right here. The discount is only available for the first 50 users, so if you're interested, make sure that you go check it out soon. Even now, kind of after breaking through this plateau, I'm still studying Japanese further because my next plans are to go to Japan and actually go to uni there, which is super exciting. We'll see how that goes. And that's where I'm at present day with Japan. I've got a decent level, maybe N2, N3. I've been learning it for like 4 or 5 years now. And yeah, I'm still really working on it really hard because I don't think I put enough effort in at the start. I wasn't really as consistent as I wanted to be, but I was doing the right stuff. So I got a decent base to kind of work from now, you know? But then if we rewind a bit now, going back to the first couple months of learning Japanese when I was about 13, at the same time, I was taking Spanish. And after realizing with a couple months of learning Japanese, how fun it was and how much I liked it, I was like, why don't I give Spanish the same kind of opportunity? So after messing around in Spanish all the time for like 2-3 years, in my 3rd year of secondary school, I decided, all right, I'm gonna take Spanish seriously. If Japanese is this fun, this cool, I enjoy it this much, connecting with people is this fun, why not give it a go? You know, I'll start paying attention in class. And that's exactly what I did. I started paying attention in class and I got to a really decent level. My Spanish wasn't amazing. Obviously, I wasn't doing anything at home, which would have been ideal, but I was learning Japanese and I didn't really want to sacrifice any time from that. And, you know, I could say the basics, you know, I maybe reached like an A2, B1 level at the end of secondary school, and it was decent. And I really enjoyed Spanish, you know, at school. It was really fun. I had a good teacher, but I think it's really representative of how school still just isn't enough. Even me, having a bit of knowledge on how to learn languages, like learning Japanese at the same time, I was making so much more progress at home versus at school. And school just really isn't enough. After finishing school with Spanish, I got a grade 9 in GCSE without really doing anything at home. And it was cool, you know, it's decent, but I really needed to do stuff at home to really make progress. There's not a huge amount to say about my Spanish journey. I literally just did it in school. Up till now, I'm now doing an A level, and my Spanish is a lot better because I actually did do some stuff at home. So as I mentioned, things like the immersion method, doing flashcards a little bit, but I haven't really done a huge amount. Entonces mi nivel no es perfecto y todavía no hablo perfectamente y todo, but I think my Spanish is decent, you know? So let me know what you guys think. And in the future, I'm planning on going to like Mexico or something to really perfect my Spanish because I'll be honest, I've developed a pretty negative relationship with Spanish because I only do it in school. Don't enjoy it as much now that I am in college. So hopefully going to Mexico will solve that, and I'll connect Spanish with beautiful landscapes, beaches, having fun in Mexico, amazing food, things like that. So we'll see. So now we've rewind a little bit again. Okay. Age 16. I think I was August 16th, 2024 was the day that I started learning French. And this will change my language learning journey literally forever. This is like the most impactful language that I've learned by far. Now, the reason for this is because after having learned Spanish and Japanese for maybe like 2-3 years, I knew exactly what I needed to do to learn a language at home and what not to do, which was learning it at school. I'd been debating this for like 3-4 days before, so August 12th maybe, the idea popped into my head. I just graduated from secondary school and I was going to go into college, starting age 16 to 18. And I was going to take Spanish there and PE, so sports, but I was missing a third subject. I was like, I want to do something really fun. I really like languages. I had the idea. Keep in mind, I'd never really studied French apart from primary school, so I didn't have a good level. I was like, I'm going to do French. I was looking up, can I do French without French GCSE, without prior knowledge, etc. And I was like, I don't care. I'm just going to learn as much French as I can in the summer break so that I'm ready for when school starts. I literally went all in. I've got a video, I'll link my video up here on how I learned French. I've got a time lapse up as well if you want to see that. And I managed to get to like GCSE grade 7. So it's like grade B, A, French in like 1 month, 2 months. And this was like my best achievement so far. I learned French super quickly. I worked super hard, like 5 hours a day or something. And I perfected my method, and it's what I teach in my community. It's what I teach to my clients now. And I'm telling you, it's so effective, but it wasn't that hard either. And French now is by far the language I speak the best. And after that 1 month, 2 months of learning at the start, I started taking it in school, which helped a little bit. You know, having a teacher obviously is useful, but I was doing the majority of it at home still, listening to podcasts on my way to and from school. Helped me more than actually being in school. And yeah, my French literally just kept skyrocketing up until about month 5, where I literally hit the highest grade top of my class, despite having literally never taken French before. And these people they'd been taking French since like years, you know, and that shows the difference between taking it at home versus taking it at school. I truly believe that it's just the method. Schools aren't very effective with it, and that's why I'm here. That's literally why I made this channel, so I can share with you guys the tips, progress, how you can actually learn a language well, sound like a native, and things like that. And I promise you, anybody can do this. Anybody can do this. And yeah, I continued working on my French, maybe till about a year into my journey. When I was satisfied, I might put a video up here showing my level. But yeah, I was satisfied and I spoke like fluent French within like 5 months, 6 months technically. But I feel like I truly got fluent after about 9 months to like a year, where I can really express myself really well. Yeah, and I love French. Honestly, at the start, I did not like French actually. I was kind of forcing myself to do it because I really wanted to do a language in school. I thought that would be cool. I was imagining the end goal. I always imagine the end goal of learning a language, thinking how cool it would be if I can speak it. And that helped me push through. I worked super hard. I went through that first maybe week, 2 weeks were super boring. I had no connection to the French language. I was doing it because it was the only one available in school. But after I got pretty decent in it, you know, and I pushed through, I found good music. I found good shows like Lupin. I love the culture. French people are so funny. I'll be honest. I can't wait to go to France. Now I speak it pretty well. It's probably my second favorite language after Japanese. And I'm not really studying it that much anymore. I'm studying Japanese, as I've said, to get better for university, but that's pretty much it. Now, finally, the last language I studied properly is Portuguese, which I started maybe about a year ago now, maybe like 9 months ago. And it was really weird. So I started when I must have been like just turned 17. And it was just a really weird situation because I wanted to learn another language. I was like, my French is good. You know, my French is pretty good. I'm gonna learn another language before I graduate college and go to university. I'll pick a quick one. I was deciding between Portuguese and Italian because I knew I'd be able to learn it quickly like I did with French. But I was really lazy, guys. I only did like an hour a day. And for my standards, that is quite lazy. For learning a language, an hour a day is about the minimum. And all I would do is watch grammar videos and maybe watch some cartoons. I did that every day. I got to decent level. I did get to decent level, but there's really nothing special about this one. Again, I was literally only doing the immersion method plus like grammar videos and an audio course. That's literally it. If you guys have questions on this still, like I said, definitely check out the guide in the comments because I go over that kind of stuff. I really want to improve my Portuguese in the future. But in between learning Portuguese, I also went to Greece, and then I wanted to learn Greek. But then there was also German people at the hotel. So I stopped learning Portuguese for a bit, started learning German, which slowed down my progress. So I do speak a little bit German. Ich kann durchsprechen. A little bit. My German is very bad. It's like 2 weeks I spent learning it. But yeah, it was all just really messy around this period. So, you know, I do speak Portuguese, but at the same time, I don't speak Portuguese. You know, I speak a little bit of Portuguese, but I want to do it again in the future. And now I took a Russian in school for like 4 months, maybe. I did like 1 lesson a week for like an hour, and I did a tiny bit at home. Я говорю по-русски. Я не говорю по-русски, я немного говорю по-русски. Привет, здравствуйте. Like I can speak like a tiny bit, a very, very small amount. I forgot so much of it. And I can read the alphabet and stuff in Russian. That's about Korean. I really want to learn. That's definitely on my list. Mandarin, I really want to learn. Korean, I can say things like 안녕하세요. 한국어 조금밖에 못해요. But again, I don't think I said that right. Things like that. And Arabic, I know like the basics because some of my friends taught me some simple words like kif halik, alhamdulillah. Kif halak for men, kif halik for women. I try to get the pronunciation right, but I don't know if I'm saying it right. Pronunciation is like my main thing, you know, if you guys can't tell. I just want to sound like a native. But yeah, that's pretty much it for those languages. I know a little bit. But the moral of the story is, guys, after learning a total of 4 languages within like 4 or 5 years, once you know the process, it's so repeatable. And that's literally what I want to share with you guys on this channel. I go through it in my videos on how I learned French, how I learned Japanese. I'm going to make one for Spanish, one for Portuguese as well, and every language I learn in the future. And maybe I'll just make a whole general video on how to learn languages. But you can learn so much from each of the stories that we've gone through today on how I learned them. I'll summarize them briefly for you now. You cannot learn a language just through school to a very good level. You need to be immersing yourself in the language that you're learning. You need to spend at least an hour a day in the language, if not more, especially if it's a hard language like Japanese. You need to practice every single day. Your progress stacks and compounds. So the more languages you learn, the easier it will get. On top of that, the more time you spend studying a single language, the more patterns you'll be able to see and the broader your perspective becomes. And it gets so much easier. If you want to work with me one-to-one, we're working on something really big. So make sure you check out that free guide and join the WhatsApp community, because that's where the announcement will be coming out. And of course, you get the free guide that comes with it. And if you follow the same process I used and take the important parts from my journey and implement it into how you're doing things, then I promise you language learning does not have to take decades, sometimes not even years. Like you can get to a decent level within months depending on the language, but it can happen a lot faster than a lot of you guys think. I can tell you that much. Let me know what language you guys are learning in the comments, and make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one.